How you doing? Welcome to On the Stack, presented to you by Gamers Edge and GETV. I'm Victor. This is my boy Tony. And today, on the Stack, we're going to talk about basically the most influential cards in Standard, kind of like our version of a top 5 played. And then we're going to wrap it up with basically where we're going to head out with the rest of Standard and how it's going to end up and where we predict it to go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is... Would you like to start?
Sure. The top 5 highest impact cards.
Yeah, that's what we're going to go with.
We'll start low. We'll start with number 5.
Okay, sure. We'll do that. We're going to talk about the Nykthos Spectre.
Nykthos Spectre, yeah.
Nykthos Spectre.
Me?
Sure. Go. Tag.
So Nykthos Spectre is a sleeper, to say the least. It was. It's now where everyone thought Boros Reckoner was going to be, in that it's a pretty decent body. It provides either blue or black devotion.
It flies, has evasion.
A pretty solid effect. Allows you to play lands and spells from your opponent's deck. So in mirror matches, it's amazing.
But it lets you do other things that you wouldn't expect. Like if you come through and you hit with a Nykthos Spectre and you get a land,
you can now cast.
Now you can start casting whatever card they're playing. Now it becomes relevant, which is something that is kind of unique to the card itself.
And it's very, what's the word? Versatile, and it can't be removed easily. Resilient. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very resilient. I mean, you can't Doomblade it. You can't Ultimate Price it. You have to hopefully Singleton Devour Flesh. If it's the only card.
You got a Devour Flesh
without a Mutable.
You have Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, I mean, Hero's
Downfall. It's pretty mana. It's like a 3/3. It's not like.
It's an on par. It's non turn, but then you're using your turn to do it.
So it's
fine.
It's almost like a free time walk at that point, if that's what you end up doing.
I think but the thing is, it represents. It doesn't. The two power body flyer is not the threat. Even taking the life isn't the threat. It's the 3 devotion. The points of devotion that it's worth is how that card really takes over.
Yeah.
So
3 devotion and a good utility.
Yeah, it's
pretty useful.
It's why you kill that over a Desecration Demon if you know a Grey Merchant's coming back. That's technically a little more damage.
True. That's true.
So that's Nykthos Spectre. Definitely number 5. Played in 2 different decks and any variation of the blue or the black decks.
Next would be Pithing Needle, number 4. Not played in the main. Played in the sideboard. Okay. But answers a lot of cards post sideboard. A lot of planeswalkers, a lot of activated effects. And is basically in every sideboard in the last couple tournaments.
I think it's
top 8 decks, all of them. They're all playing it basically, except for mono blue, maybe.
I don't think mono. I mean, they probably don't to run it. But
they don't care. They're playing aggro. Yeah, it's like Merfolk.
It's back to when it first came out. It's a very versatile catch-all. It's really simple to just know what the threat is, and it's an efficient card. It's a 1 mana investment to shut down a Planeswalker or an Aetherwing or. No,
literally anything.
I mean, Underworld Connections, naming, of course, the land, not the Underworld Connections. That won't work out. But
that wouldn't be fun.
That would be fun for me if I have an Underworld Connections.
And then that's mean. But again, it's cheap. It's 1 mana, it's generic, super easy to cast. Comes into play, immediately affects the board state. If they have anything that's relevant, that has activated, if they have Planeswalkers, if they have Underworld Connections, trying to get card advantage, anything of that sort, and Pithing Needle answers the card, and basically 1-for-1 them with 1 generic mana. It's really good. It's awesome. Play in your sideboard, guys. It owns face. All right?
I think it's 8 for 8 in the top 8.
Yeah.
Even if a deck missed it, 1 deck ran 2. So it even
exactly. So it doesn't matter. Everyone's playing it. They're playing at least 1 or 2 copies. It's awesome. So we're going to go on. We're going to move on to one of my current favorite cards. Number 3 in our slot is Jace, Architect of Thought. And I personally play the card. Basically, any player that's playing blue should be playing this card. If you're not playing this card, I love you, but you're a fucking asshole. You got to play this card. Reasons. Now let's. I'm gonna go ahead and explain why. It's still a 4-mana Planeswalker. Pretty good. Planeswalkers for 4 mana, always good, always amazing, come to play, affects board state. He has the plus ability, gets -1/-1 attacking, kind of slows down aggro in the tracks. If you're playing control, you definitely want to stop, mitigate some of the damage, especially in the early game, before you start to tempo out and then have a little bit of control. The second ability, which some people don't take advantage of as much, they kind of just want to plus him the whole day, and I love doing it. I love minusing him all day. I will kill him to draw cards. Drawing cards is one of the most powerful things you can ever do in Magic, no matter what it is, because it's about having answers, it's about having gas, and having your threats. And what's the best way to do that? Draw cards. It's a mini fact or fiction. If you know that card, and what it used to do is it used to be 5 at the top, and they put them in 2 piles. You pick a pile, put it in your hand. Jace basically does the same thing, but for 3 cards. And even though it's not 5, which would be amazing, because I would love 5 cards.
You know what card does 5?
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. Walk that card. So, really, ignore him. He's an asshole. Steamar sucks. Okay, back to the good card. Jace. I would have thought 3 cards. You're going to get 2 most of the time. Worst case scenario, you get whatever you need. You need that Wrath, and it comes off, you're going to get it. It doesn't matter what they do. You're going to play it, you're going to sweep the board. If you need anything, even if you're playing some kind of splashing blue mono black devotion deck that you're splashing it, and you need that Gary, and we're talking about Grey Merchant, like off the top, and you're going to win if you can play it, you're going to minus. They're going to put 2 other cards and heave it by itself. You're going to draw it, and you're going to win the game. No matter what it is. Either it's an answer, card advantage, or just a threat, period. Amazing card. Play it. It's blue. It's sexy. It's awesome. Play that card. So.
Did you call Grey Merchant Gary?
Yes, I did. Gary's awesome. Don't hate it, man. Gary's awesome.
I like that. No, that makes me happy.
It's Gary. It's
like
awesome.
That.
It's just
I'll
Gary.
get that now.
That's what it's
I
called.
like to think of him as the guy from Resident Evil 4. What are you buying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he kind of comes in and he's just like, hey, what's up?
What are you buying? Oh, half your life.
Oh, awesome.
You're dead.
Cool.
Night
Hey,
Inspector.
here's a little bit extra, guys. Gain some life. It's
Gary.
awesome.
All right.
So, number 2, we're going to talk about number 2. Number 2, we couldn't just put the 1 for number 2, so we kind of bulked them together, and we're talking about Scrylands. I'm going to definitely admit that when Scrylands first came out, I definitely hated on the Scrylands. I kind of felt like they're a little high-horsed version of the Gatelands, and I don't want my lands to come to play tapped and do nothing. They don't do anything. It's ridiculous. But playing through Control and playing some of the other decks, and even some of the mono decks are splashing the off-color Scryland just to get the Scry, and Scry, the mechanic itself, is really strong. It fixes off your top if you're playing Dami Raid, really amazing. You can end up doing something like that. Even if you're playing Garuk, any of those cards that are relevant, even Jace, like we were talking before, like any of that, you scry off the top. It's a dead card. You put it on the bottom. Now you can draw into gas, draw into threats, draw into something that's going to win you the game or that you need. Really strong. Any card that normally you couldn't do or you don't have, you now have. Now you have the Scry. Now you have something that maybe some of the other aggros didn't have, which was manipulation off the top, which is almost as good as drawing cards. It's really strong. It's really. I'm sorry, Scrylands. I was mean and I was a bully, and I'm sorry. I'll give you a candy bar later. I'm sorry.
I agree.
It's really is. They're really good.
I live by a rule where you don't want to. There's a certain number of come into play tap lands that you want to run. And
exactly.
I count Scrylands as come into play tap. I think number's 12, or basically
something like that.
You don't ever want more than half your mana base to be coming to play tap lands.
I
count them as 12 as Scry as tapped, and then I count fetch lands as 5 because they can come into play tapped, but they might not. I kind of
the shock lands.
0.5, yeah, half of the.
Talking about the shock lands.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is it?
Fetch lands.
Both.
Oh man.
No. Fetches.
It's so fetch.
So.
Okay.
But I've now seen the power of decks that are running 8 Scrylands, and it's better in the decks that want to hit land drops. That's where it's relevant.
Yeah.
If you don't necessarily want 8 in a matchup where you're trying to power through guys. Like, I don't necessarily think you want the red-green Scryland in an aggro deck. I think you just want to pick your color, like green or red, and go through.
Yeah.
But then again, it works so good with Domri.
It does. Really
Maybe that's the value. It's you scry. Oh, that's a creature. Domri draws it. It's not a creature, but this
on the
is
bottom and then draw.
phenomenal.
Yeah. So no matter what happens, it's relevant. It gives you this card advantage and this like manipulation that some of the other decks didn't have before, and now you do. Yeah. Definitely changes the game. Definitely makes it a little bit more unique than it used to be.
I think it's a good card. I can't wait to see the rest of them.
All right. So number 1.
Me?
We're going to talk about Nykthos.
Shrine to Nyx.
It's definitely the show pony.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god.
I mean,
So
I'm pretty sure you
useless.
explained it to me before.
Okay. Please tell me you know.
I don't have a pony. I'm not rich.
Oh my god. All right. Ignore the reference because you're ridiculous. But since you play Devotion decks,
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take this over and kind of go into it. You know a lot better than I do. I know what I hate about it, but...
So, I'm just going to do a quick comparison. When Cavern of Souls came out, everyone was like, this card is totally going to ruin Control. And it didn't. It made it harder, but it really didn't. It really was just a fixer. Like, it allowed you to play... like a weird humans build where you could name human but cast a white and then a red and then a black human off of that. Like it just fixed your mana. It didn't really do much for your counters all the time. I'm sure Falcon Wrath. This was the exact opposite. When it came out, a lot of people were like, yeah, that's whatever.
Cute. It's cute.
I think, and we cracked a box
it's
on
cute.
one of the first days.
And we got a playset.
We ripped a playset.
I remember making a comment like, "What?"
He's like, well, we had a great box, 3 Nykthos, and I'm like, let's put them aside. And one was a foil, I think. I was like, let's put them aside for a minute. And then I think Mono Blue Devotion hit, and then Mono Black Devotion hit, and then
Mono Green Devotion
hit, and now I'm playing Nykthos in
like 4 decks.
In like every deck I brew now because I'm like, what does this do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is fair. This is a fair, and like the number is crazy. Like if I have Burning Tree Emissary, I run 4. If I don't, I run 3. If I'm playing Mono Blue, I run 1. Like that's with one on the board.
It's like, so strong. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is it's almost like a standard edition of Cradle. And if you don't know what Cradle does, Cradle is basically a land that taps, adds green to your mana pool equal to how many creatures you control. So, in Legacy, really ridiculous for like creature combo decks like Outlaw. Basically, all they do is they play a bunch of little dudes and then plays a finisher with tapping Cradle because they have a bunch of guys on the board. And Nykthos kind of makes that a standard play in that sense. You play really big mana costing guys that normally are kind of okay, but because of their mana symbols, like they're kind of hard to cast, but not that good. Now they're worth it. Now you play Nykthos, you tap it, and it ends up making this access of mana that you get to play out your entire hand. You get to play really awesome stuff. So it's quite ridiculous. So I feel that was number 1, and I feel that's where standard is going to go. Devotion's a thing. Devotion's here to stay.
Yeah, I think we can't play good. You can't just play good cards anymore. We're past
I agree.
We're past the point when you can just throw good cards together and say like, I'm gonna play like Obstat and Blood Baron for no reason. Like you see the black-white decks and they're not winning anymore because the Devotion decks just overpower them with their synergy. Yeah. So you need to enjoy synergy. And you need to, now that like you see the black Devotion, the blue Devotion, it's now time to like. Now you branch. Like that's where the future of standards is going to be.
You have the variants.
It's going to be like the mono blue splashing red.
Yeah.
Where you can get
mono
the Nykthos active,
white,
but also play Steam Augury. Or
No on the Steam Augury. No.
I'm just saying, you're going to play mono black splashing green. You're going to play mono blue splashing white. You're going to play all these cards, all the mono Devotion decks with a tiny splash. You can even splash 2 colors. You can do mono green splashing blue and red because you have the mana base for it.
Cute like rug type setup.
That's right.
Really nice.
Good. Like the R is very small, but the G is there. But you can do that. You can play Bug. You could play a really good Bug deck, and you can either choose the Mono Black Devotion or the Mono Blue Devotion. I like Mono Blue. It kind of works better with the, like Master Biomancer.
Yeah.
But you have these opportunities, and your mana base is not. It's not as broken as it used to be, but Nykthos. So
At the end of the day, what it comes down to is Standard is going to this phase that It's just, you need a flow. You need a synergy. You need a flow. You can't just slap things together and hope to win. And that's basically what it is. So we hope that's going to be good, that's healthy, and that's going to be extended to somewhere. It's going to be more fun. It's going to be more competitive, and it's going to be good. Yeah. So I believe that's it for us for today. This is until next week, obviously. Until next week, guys, and we'll see you here on the Stack, presented to you by GETV and Gamer's Edge. I'm Victor. This is Tony. Hope you had a good time.
Steam augury.
Fuck that card, bro! Holy shit!